So now I have my front, side, and top all drawn out. I added a few more hidden line details that I had missed earlier. And now I'm ready to finally do my dimensions in my drawing. So the dimensions are going to be pretty similar to the hidden lines in that adding too many will actually sort of defeat the purpose because it will be too confusing to look at. So I'm just going to add the ones that I consider really important. And then I'm going to make sure to note my scale. So if there are any that I need to take a measurement of in the future that I've overlooked, all I need is to check with an architectural ruler and I'll be able to tell what dimension it should be. So one of the most important parts is going to be determining the size of this sculptural handle, because it's not actually important what dimension this handle is. What's important is how big the lumber will start off being before I start shaping it. So I'm going to use this red pen just to indicate the outside of a piece of lumber before it gets shaped, because I'm always going to cut my joinery before I do any shaping, because I need to maintain as much reference face as possible. So this is going to tell me a lot more information about the wood that I should be selecting. Because when I go to Austin Hardwoods, it could be really nice if I could find a wood where the grain actually kind of flows like this. Same thing's going to be with this piece here too. Because this is all carved out of one piece of wood here, I'm just going to take those outside dimensions, as well as these caps. Okay, so when pulling a dimension from a piece, I'm typically going to start with smaller dimensions towards the inside and larger, more important dimensions towards the outside. So if I were to take this full length of the tool tote here, I'll pull this dimension all the way out to the outside so I have plenty of space from it. And everyone kind of has a different style for labeling dimensions. What I personally like to do is have 3 sets of overlapping lines like this, and then just make a diagonal mark through those lines to indicate that it's a dimension. And then just write, I believe it is 22 inches. Yeah, 22 inches. And then if I wanted to pull a smaller dimension, say the width of this, or the thickness of this panel, see the same style through 3/4 of an inch. And for dimensions that are inside here where the line would have to cross, I typically don't touch right to this point that I'm aiming for, but usually leave a little bit of a space to indicate that it is a dimension and not a visible line.
For the final step, I'm going to add the title of my project, my name, and the scale that I've drawn in the upper right-hand corner.